that podcast is great because like we can talk about history and shit that's uncomfortable, but because it's in the frame of history, it's like what I'm not like whole stuff with like when everybody was mad about Christopher Columbus, rip down the statues. He did do bad shit, but really, I mean, he didn't kill as many Native Americans as smallpox. That's the truth that people don't want to talk about. It's like the disease killed everybody. The disease killed the Native Americans, not the white settlers. They definitely killed some people, but so did Indians.
They made a good tag team.
Listen, yeah. I'm not saying no. They definitely did.
Disease was killing them, and then the white man was like this. Come on, tag me in, and I'll finish them off.
No, but it's like just
road warriors.
People love Gandhi. People love Gandhi, and it's great. But he also did have 12-year-old wives, so it's like you could say what you want about history, and you could blame everything you want on whatever group you want, but the truth is that you're not going to probably like the truth, but it's the truth, and that makes people uncomfortable. So that's our podcast. Number one, it's comedy first. It's all about comedy, so we lead with comedy, but then you're going to learn stuff about history that you could like regurgitate at parties to look somewhat cool.
Honestly, I figured it out. Really, all you need to know is like 2 sentences worth of knowledge about everything.
That's it.
That's it.
All you have to do,
if you're just 1% more knowledgeable about everybody else on thing, like I feel like Joe Rogan makes a living off it, where it's like he's so informed enough about everything that it's like, I'll believe you. Yeah, whatever you say, That's what it is. And I mean, you guys are smart now. You know what I mean? It's like they know a little bit more about history than me, so Chrissy D, they're geniuses.
I know a couple of like famous guy quotes, like famous generals quotes. You just regurgitate those and just be like, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. And then that's it. Blowjob.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then they fuck you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Even when you have chlamydia.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't matter.
We're a comedy podcast that does history because we both love history, but we're basically doing the episode with the Wikipedia page up.
Yeah. Which is again, that's all it takes, man.
One fan called us Wikipedia sluts.
Yeah.
That was
who is it?
But you know what?
Have you ever donated to Wikipedia?
No.
That's the funniest. I love that every year when they're like, "Can we have 30 cents?" I'm like, "Get the f out of here!" Wikipedia got me through college, got me through high school. I'm like, "You want $1 from me?" It makes me, what? I'm gonna go donate to Wikipedia right after this because I'm starting to feel really.
They really, I mean,
not the Australian wildfires.
Who actually donates? You think? I mean, they must get it, right?
I don't. I have no idea.
Yeah,
they have to donate.
They got to make it. If they made it easier, I would donate. The reason we don't donate is like I gotta click, I gotta put my information.
If I can Venmo Wikipedia, then I'll do it.
Yeah, just do it with the Apple Pay, boom. Apple Pay. I mean, I just pay for everything. I don't care.
Apple Pay is so dangerous. I just set it up for the first time, probably like a month ago. I have no idea how much money is in my bank account. No idea how much money I spent over the last month. It's just like double click this. That
let it fly. Yeah, just here, scan my face and then take my money. Yeah, that's what it is.
What's your favorite like history time period?
Mine personally.
Don't say World War II like a fucking.
No.
Like
I mean, I like World War II, but it's the American Revolution, colonial America. 1775 area or like 1799. I fucks with that.
What do you fuck with?
I really know a lot about that, and I love that. I mean, that part of history is wild. I mean, guys are in tights and shoes and wigs fighting. It's our first kind of, the British come in, George Washington. I mean, it's wild fucking times. Everybody's got fumes and full bush. Wooden teeth. Yeah, nobody has teeth. Hygiene isn't really a thing yet. It's and the lies that we've been told about what the American dream is. It's all based on marketing, and it's not real. And the mighty British Empire, none of this stuff that we know is true. It's just nice to read it with a gun in your mouth.
Put your dick away, Chris.
I was reading this book, 1776 by David McCullough, and I just had a gun in my mouth. I had a bayonet like they would use in my throat. I was like, if I read one more lie that I was told, I'm going to let it fly.
That is the worst part about getting old is when you're like, wait, everything I learned in middle school is just
all a
lie.
Yeah. It's just a lie.
It's just not true.
Oh, yeah. It's just, they just making it up to tell school kids about this. And he's like, oh, when you do the research, you're like, no, that is not a thing at all.
And it's always about like you never, like the crazy one to me was I was at a World War II memorial thing over the break as well. And I was just looking at shit. It was like all about like the evil Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor and killed like 8,000 troops or 4,000 troops, whatever it was, and like just like levels of like just like of a whole building about how bad it was. And I was like, you guys didn't even mention the 200,000 we killed.
In a minute.
You didn't even mention I feel like if you're gonna go 4 floors worth of Pearl Harbor, you should be like, and this is how we retaliated.
Yeah,
listen,
a great one.
When you win the war, you write the history.
You write the thing. You write the thing. Yeah.
I always thought about that. Like when you think about, you hear all those battles, like Alexander the Great, conquering the world. and they say that he was like in the front leading his troops. You're going like, was he?
Yeah.
Was he really in the front?
I wouldn't be.
The most valuable man, the king.
No, was he? Like nobody like gets injured in the front. Like the kids in the front are just walking to their death.
I think about that all the time. Every time there's like a massive fight scene in a movie, and it's just like Braveheart or whatever. I'm like, he couldn't have possibly been in front. No, you just die in a second.
No, you survive in the back. George, that's what I like about colonial Americas, because like it's kind of a little truce there with like, George Washington didn't fight. He was at the battles, but way in the back, like 2 miles away with a telescope, just being like, a magnifying glass, just being like, okay, just move that guy over there.
It's just, you could be the baddest ass in the whole world, but if you're just surrounded by chaos, you're gonna catch a stray. You're gonna catch a knife in the back or a sword in the back.
100%.
Hand to hand with sword. Nobody's limping back with a sprained ankle. Like, it's tough, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Those conditions. I slipped in the mud.
Yeah.
Sure.
Would you rather fight in like the trenches of World War I, the colonial time, or like Braveheart time?
Trenches of World War I specifically was brutes magoots, because
Agent Orange and
you
all
would
that
get
shit, right?
well, no, well that, but also like the dug-in trenches where like you would die of like dysentery. Guys would die. Like there's a great documentary called We Shall Grow Old, I believe it is, and it's
colorized, right?
Yeah, it's World War I that's colorized, and then the guys would die. A very common thing, people would die. They would be so weak, and there was no bathrooms. It was just like these latrines, these holes. They would be rise to the top, and they'd be going to the bathroom or puking and lose energy and drown in shit and piss. That's because they couldn't have the energy to get their head out.
Dude, Chaps was telling me about like Chaps is a Marine who works here. And
Pussy.
He was like, he was talking about how they had. Like, if you meet, like, a World War I veterans, which obviously there aren't many left.
I don't think there's any left.
Yeah, I would guess none, right?
World War I. That'd be wild.
Like, I think we're winding down on the twos.
Winding down on the twos, yeah.
The one veterans would have, like, a lot of times they'd have one finger left.
Sure.
Because it would be, like, the pinky or something. Because they would just, their trigger finger would freeze. And then just cut it off.
Yeah.
And then they'd start using this one as a trigger finger from the trenches.
Yeah.
Next man up. Next
Next,
finger up.
boom, next one.
Yeah, and then they
that's
They just
ridiculous.
have Pinky to do coke.
You don't want to get some more energy so you don't drown in the.
Well, dude, that's the Nazis. I know World War II shit is hacked, but that's what the Nazi secret weapon was. Pervitin. It was crystal meth. It was modern day crystal meth. They would give the soldiers. That's why a lot of Nazi soldiers, when the war was over and the Pervitin effects, because they last a while, they would kind of come to and be like, "What did we do? Why did we do that?" Because he was drugging them and making the super soldier. Like they couldn't be stopped. It was like true zombies.
Fuck, what did we do last night? They're hungover.
You
like,
wiped
killed
out
6 million Jews.
Genocide, dude.
Damn, it was a rough night.
You've never had a hangover that bad. That really, like, whenever you have hangover anxiety, it's like, well,
I feel like, dude,
could have been worse.
It happens, man. You want to get a bratwurst?
Can you imagine though fighting for the American Revolution during the colonial period, and like you see those kids come with those uniforms, like the
red coats
with, like stockings on.
Idiots.
It's a good strategy though, because you may hesitate to kill them because you're like, those kids look cute.
Yeah. Those are cute kids. I don't want to ruin that fit. Take your shirt off first.
It's a well put together outfit.